Wario was changed a lot in between Brawl and Project Plus. If you guys want to see how a character who was decent in Brawl became even better in Project M, be sure to stay tuned. As Wario got plenty of brand new attacks in Project Plus, they even made the decision of making Wario's default costume his iconic overall skin. He's actually a great character in both games, and if you want to see how much he changed, stay tuned and subscribe. Wario actually was a decent character in Brawl's meta, ranking 10th on Brawl's official tier list. He's a rather strange character, being relatively short, heavy, and having incredible airspeed. Why do these things benefit Wario? Well, being short means you're harder to hit, and being heavy means you can generally live longer in between each stock, and having amazing airspeed means you can move in the air with a lot of freedom to spam aerials, recover, air camp, whatever. It's kind of a big part of why characters like Jigglypuff are so good in Melee. Wario's recovery is actually pretty good if he has all of his tools on deck. He has high amounts of aerial drift. On top of that, his side B is the Wario bike, and his up special and even waft are both recovery tools. Wario is actually one of the best characters in Brawl at air camping, which means floating away in the air and playing keep away with your opponent. Yeah, Brawl is awesome, baby. Sorry. Wario's Dacus is actually a good approaching tool as it comes out rather fast and it has a lot of distance on it. Wario's down special is extremely rewarding. It takes over a minute and a half to fully charge, but actually when it fully charges, the fully charged version is actually not as good as the half charged version, which sounds really weird, I know, but let me explain. The half charge version is actually better than the fully charged version. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So you want to use the half charge version as much as you possibly can, as the full charge version only does more damage but does the same amount of knockback. It's kind of silly. This is something that's standard in Brawl. Wario's KO moves are extremely rewarding. He has forward smash that can kill at 70%. Waft can KO as low as 50%, and he can even juggle characters with his up air and kind of keep people in the air because of his high aerial drift. He has Chomp, which is an even stronger tool in Project M, but we'll get there in a second. It's known for basically being a grab that can go through shields, and it can even eat projectiles or items. He has two reliable grab setups, being his down throw and even his forward throw. Down throw is known for being a chain grab tool too. Wario does have some weaknesses. One right off the bat, he's a victim of Brawl's iconic grab release jank. Yeah, this was a big thing in Brawl. It's one of the biggest flaws a character can have in this whole game, so basically don't get grabbed or else you're gonna have to deal with this. The grab release jank is something that Ness and Lucas even had to deal with too. It basically means you have an extra frames of end lag after a grab release, so that means you can simply be, grabbed again and endlessly looped over and over. It's actually a pretty terrible flaw to have. Also, Wario is put in a disadvantaged state if he doesn't have the Wario bike on deck. That means he loses a recovery tool and then he has to rely on his less than remarkable up special, which is really easy to punish. I imagine if Wario didn't have the grab release jank issue, he probably would have been a higher tier character in Brawl, but nonetheless was still a borderline top tier character in Brawl, which is really hard to beat. He's an even better character in doubles because, yeah, you can spam down special in doubles, baby. Wario changed a lot from Brawl to Project M. Wario straight up got brand new attacks. Now, did Wario get the Lucario treatment where he's a completely different character? Well, no. They kept some of his assets from Brawl but built on top of his moveset by giving him moves that actually reference the Wario Land, a series that was criminally underrepresented in Wario's moveset. So this is very similar to Sonic, where Sonic was given a lot of attacks from Sonic Battle. An interesting thing about Wario is he's actually better than the Brawl version. In Brawl, he ranked in 10th, and in Project Plus, he's actually ranked at 6th place. Wario's normally had a pretty stable placement in the meta, as he's been to a lot of top 8s and majors thanks to an amazing Wario player named Sosa. He's won plenty of majors with just solo Wario. He was even ranked first on Project M's official player rank during 2018. So this goes without saying, Wario is actually an incredible character in Project M, and it's even more competitive than Brawl, as any character can be viable in PM. Wario's archetype is rather similar as what it was before. He has high amounts of aerial drift, and he's floaty while also being heavy. Many people like to call him Jigglypuff 2.0. Kidding, but not actually kidding, there's maybe some truth there. Wario shares some similarities to Puff. They both have a down special that is their largest kill move. Wario's down special needs a minute of time in order to fully charge, while Jigglypuff's can be used at any time, but it puts her asleep. Wario's down special has arguably way more advantages, like being a recovery tool, it's a KO move, and it doesn't put you in a disadvantaged state. He can even act out of the move when it's completed. Imagine if Puff's rest allowed for that, it would be crazy. On top of that, Puff is a pretty light character, which means she can be KO'd by really strong hits relatively early, while Wario is a character who has a similar level of aerial drift and KO potential, yet he's way heavier and almost just as mobile as Puff. And if you don't believe me, Wario is way higher than Jigglypuff on the Project Plus tier list. It doesn't mean she's unviable, but to be real, a lot of people don't really main her as much as she probably was mained in Melee. It just goes to show that the quote-unquote Wario being Puff 2.0 is kinda true in a way, but it doesn't mean Puff is unviable. But you could argue that she's just outclassed by maybe Wario. Side Special was actually completely changed, replacing Wario Bike to a shoulder bash, which is a huge iconic move from the Wario Land games. This Side Special should not be underestimated as it has many uses, one as a recovery tool, one as a KO tool, and you can even jump while inputting side B, and this makes Side Special a really strong tool at covering platforms. Now, of course, there's a lot of lag to the move if it misses. You can beat it by simply shielding it, but nonetheless, this move is ridiculously strong, and it's a huge buff over the regular Bike, as this move is way stronger than Wario Bike is. Plenty of his smash attacks were completely changed. Forward smash was changed to the shoulder bash to a kicking animation. This animation was given a facelift, although the move acts similar to the Brawl version. It's a fast forward smash, however, it has plenty of end lag and can be easily punished. Down smash got a huge facelift. This version is the signature move of Wario Land Shake It. This move has Wario punching the ground and causing an earthquake around him. It actually is surprisingly quick. You can actually string multiple hits of this move or extend combos with it. It's actually more of a utility smash attack that sets up into Wario's stronger attacks. It's not really a KO move, it's mostly a setup tool. Wario's back air was completely changed. This move's animation is peak Project M animation. I love how powerful this attack looks because it definitely packs a punch and it looks way better than the Brawl animation that looked a little bit more lazy. Down air was changed to a ground and pound and it hits like a truck. You don't want to be hit by this move off stage as it meteor smashes, which means you're probably gonna die. It's even more rewarding than any other meteor smash, as if Wario hits you with this move, Wario actually bounces off the opponent and he can recover and retreat after hitting this attack. And if you use it on stage, you can combo this move into itself or just, I don't know, pick a random move and it'll probably combo into down air. Down air into back air? Sure. Down air into down special? Yeah, that even works too. Down air into down air? What do you think? Yes, obviously it works. This move is dangerous, plain and simple, and I love it. I also hate it because Wario can be a demon to fight against, but I'm just staying neutral. And speaking of being a demon, Wario can actually move during back throws, so you can do this. His up throw is actually a combo tool now, as characters fall faster in Project M, so you can combo with this throw now. His down throw is a tech chasing tool, although it's not as strong as the Brawl version, it's slightly nerfed, but it's still somewhat good. Forward throw is actually a brand new throw from Wario Land, as this throw is the only throw in the game that can be charged by holding down the attack while pressing forward. So yeah, forward throw, they just went ham on this throw, I guess. On top of that, Wario has access to one of the best tools in Project M, it's his bike. This move on paper looks like a terrible attack. In fact, I actually thought it was terrible for years, until I learned a little bit more about it. It has very little range, it doesn't do any damage until you get up close and chomp. However, despite what you might see, this move is actually one of Wario's most important tools. It goes through shields, which is actually a really good positive right off the bat. You can punish somebody who's just holding shield and then just bite them with this move and it works. It charges Wario's down special faster and even maintains its momentum in the air, which means Wario can aerial drift and use this mobility to punish someone who's maybe spamming a projectile on the other side of the stage. You can use this aerial drift, run in with bite, and then now Wario's in the advantage state. It's a really good move at switching the momentum of a match to Wario's favor. His jab is a great setup tool as it's relatively quick and links into his other attacks. Forward tilt has a lot of startup and end lag, and it's actually a strong tilt attack that can KO at around 100%. It can even be angled with the highest angle doing the most amount of damage. Down tilt is the low end lag tilt with decent range. Up tilt is a strong combo tilt that can link into his up throw reliably. Wario's head is even intangible when this move is those out, so it's pretty great. And then there's dash attack. We don't have to talk about dash attack, it's kind of bad. It does have fast startup, but it just has a crazy amount of end lag, and you can maybe extend combos with it, but it's a little janky, kind of funny animation. His aerials are all amazing spacing tools because he has such high aerial drift. These aerials are super consistent when it comes to spacing and punishing. Nair and up air are strong juggling tools, for example. Even his forward air can be used for sharking or edge guarding off stage, for example. Up smash is very reminiscent to the Brawl version, same with up special. Wario's down special is still intact, being one of the strongest KO tools for Wario even in PM. Wario got some big changes from Brawl. If you're wondering if he deals with the Brawl grab release jank, thank God that stuff doesn't exist in PM. And also technically Wario did get some nerfs compared to the Brawl version. The fact Wario doesn't have the Wario bike means Wario doesn't have that projectile that he used to have anymore. In my opinion, Wario's new side special is a way stronger tool. It's way more consistent than the bike and is actually stronger, but sure, he doesn't have the projectile element of that move anymore. So in a sense, Wario could have difficulty dealing with projectile-based characters, as Wario doesn't have a consistent way of dealing with them. In my opinion, he has other ways around that type of stuff. His recovery is also slightly weaker without the Wario bike. He still has a more than competent recovery, and technically compared to Brawl, some of his smash attacks were made weaker and don't have as much armor on his attacks, but again, these are more smaller differences. Wario is still a threat in Project M's meta, even more than he was in Brawl. It just goes to show how strong his archetype is, and if you play the Jigglypuff style of character and you want to see a new character kind of inspired by this style of archetype, maybe check out Wario because he's really good in Project Plus.